Welcome back to GoldSeek TV. I'm here in Zurich with the president and CEO of AbraSilver, John Miniotis. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Peter. Always a pleasure.
It's great to catch up with you, especially now after the gold and silver prices have started to make a significant move. A lot has been going on with AbraSilver since the last update in the last year. Quite a few updates, actually. So let's try to go through different parts here. First, let's talk about the core asset of the company, Diablillos, which has been growing over the years into a significant deposit. You've been discovering new zones and so on. So let's get an overview. Where does the deposit stand right now? How large is it, and what's happening there?
Great. Yeah, no, our flagship Diablillos project is really uniquely positioned, I'd say, to become a leading silver and gold producer down the road here. So this is a large-scale project already. We have over 250 million ounces of silver equivalent, and it's 100% precious metal focused, which really makes it quite unique. So large-scale, 250 million ounces on the M&I resource basis. This, of course, is continuing to grow. And so we still have a 20,000 meter exploration program going on, and we're stepping out and continuing to encounter new high-grade hits as well. So it's a large resource. We announced a pre-feasibility study back in March of this year, which shows that over the first 5 years, this project could be producing over 18 million ounces a year on a silver equivalent basis, with cash costs over the entire life of mine of about $12.50 an ounce. So this is a low-cost producer, large scale. It really has all the key ingredients in place in terms of scale, high-quality ounces here, and a rapid timeline towards actually a construction decision being made in the near future.
So you've been adding a lot of value to the project for the last years. You're talking about satellite deposits. So let's kind of go back to the core of this discovery was a Colto zone or deposit. Then you located near it was the Jack zone, which is extremely interesting because a lot more high-grade silver at surface. So it appears now that those two deposits might be actually merging together. So this is a very large, like you said, 18 million plus. It was 18 million ounces potential a year, low cost. So how does this deposit kind of? You have a kind of a higher grade silver and gold, more gold percentages. So what are you looking at right now? It looks like the Jack Zone North has kind of been the latest big discovery, this high grade silver deposit.
That's right. Yeah, no, our exploration team has had great success here growing this project. And so when we stepped in here about 5 years ago, the main deposit, of course, was Oculto. And Oculto's large scale, 45 million tons roughly, and good grades of silver and gold. And it's more closely to 50-50 silver and gold, with an average equivalent grade of about 150 grams per ton silver equivalent. And it's all near surface in oxides. So very good grades. But last year in 2023, we stepped out to the southwest and discovered this new high-grade Jack deposit. And this is almost purely silver, and it's much higher grades. It's over 200 grams per ton of silver. And so Jack, we drilled 20,000 meters there last year as part of our phase 3 campaign. And then we declared the initial resource there of over 5 million tons, over 200 grams per ton of silver. And then we announced the pre-feasibility study on that initial resource. Since then, we brought on some key strategic investors. So we raised $20 million earlier this year, bringing on Kinross Gold and Argentina's largest power producer, a company called Central Puerto, both very strong strategic shareholders for us. They funded us $20 million, and then we went back to drilling. And so continuing to expand Jack this year. Over the last several months, we've had several high-grade hits, and we're continuing to step out to the southwest. And so we're just continuing to march along here, stepping out, finding high-grade silver ounces here outside of the current pit. So Jack continues to grow. Oculto itself also has growth potential. We're drilling there actively as well, and we've had several high-grade intercepts there. And importantly, this year, we're now stepping out 4 kilometers away and drilling a copper porphyry. So we actually have copper porphyry potential on the same project. So quite unique here. We're drilling the initial deep holes right now. So we completed our first hole, which went down to about 400 meters or so. We're now well into the second hole. And so we expect to have these initial copper porphyry results sometime early in the new year, likely in January or so.
So another exciting part of this story. I wasn't aware of that part, but obviously Kinross came into this, into your investing into the company, not even being involved in Argentina. So they must be very attracted to this deposit. Is that what brought them in to this financing as an investor?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say, yeah, this is a high quality project. I think, several companies have had a look here, and we're in active discussions here on several fronts. But yeah, no, this is a project that really appeals to large silver producers, gold producers, of course, potentially copper producers, who knows, down the road. And then Argentina as a whole has significantly improved.
Mm-hmm. So that would be very interesting to get some insights. Argentina has been going through some big shifts, some big changes. So how has that impacted? What are you seeing, and what are these changes? What has happened in the last, say, year there?
Yeah. So President Milei came into office less than 12 months ago. So in December of 2023 is when he was elected president, and he successfully passed back in July of this year his large economic reform package. It's known as the RIGI. It's an incentive regime for large-scale investments. It's not only mining. It applies to any industry. For large-scale investors looking to invest over $200 million in Argentina, you get favorable sort of tax treatment. So your tax rate goes down from 35% down to 25%. There'll be no more export duties. Export duties were very high, especially for gold. It was 8%. For silver, it was 4.5%. So it was very significant. So in our pre-feasibility study, we'd assume we'd be paying export duties of over $180 million. Those will now be removed. The income tax, we were paying over $500 million in taxes. That will now come down significantly, going down to the 25% tax rate. And very importantly, there'll be no more FX restrictions. So there's always been foreign exchange, capital controls in place for projects going ahead under this new RIGI regime. That's no longer the case. And so, yeah, excellent time for us. It really coincides very well with our construction timeline. We expect to have this project ready for a construction decision in 2026, and that'll be able to capture these benefits from this new RIGI regime, which is very, very important.
Well, that's very exciting. I mean, Argentina now has really changed and flipped its ways, it sounds like, and obviously it's important to be in the right province. Salta Province is very mining friendly where you're located, but that's a huge shift. So Kinross came in after this political shift, I imagine. So that was also, it seems to be attracting a lot. Obviously, these incentives are attracting a lot more interest.
Yeah, we're seeing that across the industry. And so BHP and Lundin Mining, of course, acquiring Filo del Sol in Argentina, multi-billion-dollar M&A transaction. Of course, that happened just a few months ago. Rio Tinto is investing heavily in lithium in Argentina right now. They've announced several deals there, multi-billion-dollar deals as well. We're seeing in Salta as well. We have the Taca Taca project. My understanding is First Quantum starting to, re-engage there with exploration and looking to advance that project again. That's been dormant for several years now. So yeah, you're seeing a big shift happening in Argentina, and Diablillos is really ideally situated as already having a large scale resource in place, obviously significant growth still ahead of us, but being close to that construction decision timeline is very, very important, because you want a mine that could be brought into production here within the next several years.
Well, that's great timing. You have a big shift in Argentina. Gold and silver prices are starting to move favorably, and we have getting closer and closer to construction decision. This timing for this project is looking excellent. I've been a long-term shareholder, so personally, I'm thrilled to this. And obviously, one of the attractions to this project is the leverage to the silver price. You have so much silver sitting there, which you continue to add ounces, and you really have nice leverage to that. But that's not the only big project, and that's not the only big mining partner that you have. You also have a JV with Teck. Is that in southern Argentina with La Coipita?
That's right. Our La Coipita project. So this is a much earlier stage project. This is in the San Juan province of Argentina, so along the big copper belt there on the border with Chile. It straddles a border. Our land concessions are entirely on the Argentinian side. We consolidated this several years ago. Back in 2020, we picked up 70,000 hectares that became available. And so we thought, look, this is strategic ground in one of the most prospective copper belts in the world. So let's pick this up. And then we always knew it was a large scale sort of project here. But earlier this year, in January 2024, we brought on Teck as a partner to help us advance this project and hopefully make a big discovery here. And so Teck came in as a partner. They have the option to continue to explore here and eventually get an 80% interest in this project. And so we just announced recently that Teck has completed their phase 1 drill program last year, and they're already planning for the next phase of exploration to commence early on in 2025 once the field season opens there.
Great. So getting aggressive on that as well, being able to advance that while you advance Diablillos. So lots going on with Abra Silver, /gold, /copper. Lots of great metals in this environment. So thank you, John, for the update. Very exciting times for AbraSilver. So we look forward to following up and seeing how the results progress.
Perfect. My pleasure. Thanks very much, Peter.
Thank you.